What's it up, baby? Y'all already know it is the big boss. How boss dog K poke through the door here to talk this boxing. Y'all already know where I'm going. To the gym. That's just the hog mentality. I'm going to the gym, hustling on the grind, trying to get it. I'm sleepy, but the grind don't stop. We put in work. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. Frank Martin versus Michel Rivera. Let's talk about it. Before I get in my soliloquy, I just pray for everybody, man. Peace and harmony over you. You know, over these holidays, man. I pray that everybody have a good holidays. You know, we finna go into this new year strong. You know, I pray for doors to open for everybody. I pray for, you know, you to reach those places that you dreamed of reaching. I pray that you're able to reach those places. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. I pray that for everybody, including myself. You know what I mean? Let's get to it. Let's run it up. 2023. Let's do it big. Frank Martin, man, he boxed beautifully. My wife got on me the other day because, you know, she watched my video and I think I was saying beautifully. And she was like, that's not a word. So, beautifully. You know what I mean? It was a dominant performance. Like, you know what I mean? I say Frank Martin won 11 rounds. I give Michel Rivera 1 round. You know what I'm saying? Frank Martin knocked down Michel Rivera in the 7th round. He kind of did like a little pull counter. You know? And then he's also was making them deposits to the body. Like he was using the jab and then throwing that straight left to the solar plex. Like I like that. I would like Frank Martin. I feel like if he would have went to the body more on Michel Rivera, he would have stopped him. You know what I mean? Like truthfully, Frank Martin could have stopped him. He just kind of took his foot off the gas. I don't know why, but I feel like he could have stopped dude, bro. I just wanted him to go to the body. If he went to the body a little more, I think he could have got dude out of there. He could have made him quit. I believe that. Because I just reading Michel Rivera's body language, he was frustrated. He didn't know what to do. You know what I mean? Like Frank Martin was throwing different stuff at him. And Michel Rivera was like doing kind of the same thing. Like he didn't really make any adjustments. He didn't have any answers. He looked frustrated and confused. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it's just, and Frank Martin showed he got good feet work, bro. But that's that Derek James teaching. You know what I mean? I watched a video on Derek James. I think I'm going to post it in the description. How he talked about how, you know, slipping is cool, but sometimes slipping is bad because your opponent can measure you and, you know, catch you. You know what I mean? So you slipping, he measure you, kind of hold you there for a second and catch you. So he trains his fighters to use their feet to get them out of position and put them at angles to return. You know what I mean? And Frank Martin did that. I mean, it was great. You know, I just wanted him to stop him. That's the only thing I could say. You know, but he dominated him. Like, and I gotta give a shout out to Michel Rivera because he was tough. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't quit. You know, I think the average guy would have quit. You know what I mean? He didn't quit. Although he looked frustrated. He didn't know what to do. He didn't have any answers, you know what I'm saying, to rebuttal or counter, you know, what Frank Martin was doing. I feel like Rivera, he should have took that Marcus McDonough approach against Frank Martin. You know what I mean? Just got behind the jab and just, you know, he gonna have to eat one to get his off. You know what I mean? Like, that's what he should have did. Because Frank Martin was faster. Frank Martin had better feet. You know what I mean? And like I said, for each punch that was thrown by Michel Rivera, Frank Martin returned with 3-4 punches. You know what I mean? So it was just like one landed by Rivera and then Frank Martin 4. So it was just a great performance. Frank Martin looked strong. He looked in shape. He didn't look gassed. You know, it was an excellent performance. And this shows you how great of a teacher, master teacher that Derek James is. Because he's done great things with Frank Martin. You know what I mean? And Errol Spence and Jermell Charlo. Like, anybody he really get his hands on that will listen, because it's all about listening. He takes their game to a whole nother level. You know what I mean? So I'm heavily excited for the future of Frank Martin. Who do I want to see him in there next? Who do I want to see him in the ring with next? I wouldn't mind seeing Frank Martin in there with. I mean, we gotta be realistic, right? Because Tank is pretty much tied up, right? He got this Hector Garcia fight, and then Ryan, right? Tank got his eyes on, Devin Haney. That's what he got his eyes on. He want to make that fight. I don't think Tank will fight Shakur. So maybe a Frank Martin versus Shakur Stevenson. That's realistic. Frank Martin versus Isaac Pitbull Cruz. Let me tell you something. That's a fight right there. Frank Martin versus Isaac Pitbull Cruz, that's a fight. That's another headliner fight. Like that should be pay-per-view worthy. I would pay to see that. You know what I mean? Frank Martin, he making noise. Like I said, I'm heavily impressed with his style and just how he is, just growing and developing into, a top fighter. He stay in the gym, he stay working. I like what I'm seeing from Buddy. Like he really is a master of his craft. You know what I mean? And like I said, sky's the limit for Frank Martin as a fighter. We'll see where this is gonna take him. Like I said, I would love to see him in there with Tank. I just don't know if that fight can happen. You know what I mean? Due to it may happen because Tank responded. They doing I guess after the fight on Twitter. Somebody was like, man, Tank, that boy Frank Martin, looking good or something like that. And then Tank responded, yeah, he could go to sleep. I said, oh, snap. So it can happen, you know what I mean? But I just don't think Tank don't have his eyes set on that fight. I think he want a Devin Haney fight. If he's able to beat Hector Garcia, then Ryan Garcia, he gonna want Devin Haney. I think that's because those are the guys who been talking the most. Those are the guys who, he's been matched up against, in the media and stuff like that. So I think that Tank gonna want to shut people up. That's why I think he's on. He's on a revenge tour. That's what I think Tank is on. And it's no disrespect to Frank Martin. I think Frank Martin is on that level. But I just think that Tank, he looking at Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. He looking to shut them up. So, and that's even if Devin stay at 135 long enough. Because if Devin Haney get a Lomachenko fight and then he beat Lomachenko, I don't think Devin Haney stays at 135. I think he go to 140. You know what I mean? So it very well could happen. I say Frank Martin would get a top name maybe in 2024. You know what I mean? But shout out to Michel Rivera for taking this fight. Two up and coming fighters who look dominant. You know what I'm saying? In their fights. Previous to this one. You know what I mean? But shout out to Frank Martin for taking them out. Sky's the limit, man down strap season for Frank Martin. I think he the next one up. Y'all let me know what y'all think about Frank Martin. Let's go.